which is why don't we form a group of bilinguals, for instance, which can speak Turkish and English, and why don't we ask those people to rate each of the phrases, for instance, a phrase describing a situation, for instance, appreciating something, and hakkını vermek in Turkish. Why don't we ask those bilinguals to rate the term, rate the phrase, to whether how better they can explain the situation. For instance, we can, if the 25% of the bilinguals which has the capability and capacity to speak both English and Turkish says that appreciating something is not better equipped to define the situation than hakkını vermek. We don't use hakkını vermek. We can use the English or Turkish version, and we can decide to which one is the better by asking those bilinguals. And I can see there can be problems with this idea, because how can we find those sampled bilinguals which can speak fluently Turkish as well as English, or which can speak English as well as Turkish in around the same capacity of using languages. That is hard, but I think if we have the time and the resources, we can do that. And the next step would be to encouraging people to use the better version of the situation. Yeah, some people would say that it's kind of confusing and complex to demand people to use that better version of the situation. Also, it could not be applied universally. It can only be applied to those who can speak Turkish and English, which is the people either living in Turkey or in English medium speaking countries. But I think this idea of finding a better phrase, no matter what is the language, is a next step to develop a better language using world, let's say. It's not good. See, I am a Turkish I use Turkish more than English because I'm a Turkish person. I was born in Turkey, and even though for the last quarter of my life I use English more than Turkish, it's always sometimes better to phrase it in Turkish, because some meanings are more in depth in terms of how I can use them. So, okay, that's suppose that is my idea. What can I do with this idea? I have several options. I can just like I am doing right now, I can share this idea on a medium of social media, which has some benefits over academy. For instance, like you can reach out to many other people who have more resources, who have maybe better means to reach that goal than you. You can reach them more quickly, more easily, and you can just convey your ideas by speaking them. And it has, I think, a better in terms of sincerity of how I wanted to do this or question this. Suppose that I want to make sure that our linguistic capabilities should improve in the future, and I have an idea, and I'm just conveying or sharing this idea through social media. Or another way to just do research. Okay, there's lots of perks with this step, with this selection of sharing my idea, but it has time consuming, because I have to find databases like bilingualism, or how to improve our language usage in the next century. For instance, I have to read so many things. I have to create my create some kind of schema to get this idea in other people's minds without having them interfering our thought processes in the process. Also, one criticism would be that maybe I'm not the best person to research that. Maybe I don't have the means. Maybe I have lack of tools, research tools. Maybe I'm not affiliated to some kind of institution or university which has money, which has time, and which has monetary and human resources that can help with the process of this idea. So that's why I think more and more people use or choose social media over some institutional-based research choices, let's say. Because at the end, if I want to just share my idea and let people decide that if it is usable, if it's feasible to go with this idea, I can always use social media. Because I think it is easier to reach people in social media who has better means to have just evaluate the question in mind. So that was a good question, I guess.